Good afternoon, my name's Andy, I'm one of the AFF techs. I just thought I'd take the opportunity to answer one of the questions we often get answered as to why we recommend you change your fuel filter. Fuel filter basically is a coarse filter for diesel oil because it's heavy oil. So petrol oil is a fine filter, diesel oil will be a slightly thicker filter, i.e. it can flow more because it's pumping an oil through it. It filters the oil in and out, both from the engine and the tank. So the fuel that comes from the tank comes through the filter housing into the engine, and then the return that comes out of the engine goes back through the filter housing and goes back to the tank. So it's a double filtration. They can be a little bit finicky doing it roadside, and they have often seals and bleeding procedures. Some, as this one's quite corroded as well, so it can present a problem where a technician might run into a need of spares, etc. So it's quite a complicated subject. We don't offer filter changes at roadside, purely for the complexity of the job, the mess involved, the time it takes, and the sheer number of filters we would need to carry in the van. It's just not physically possible, which is why we recommend you get your filter changed at a proper service workshop, because it is really a workshop thing to do. This is the filter housing that I've taken off this vehicle. This vehicle was misfueled a couple of hours ago, so I'm doing this change just as a demonstration. There you can see the contaminant that's collected inside the filter. What the petrol does is it attacks and dilutes everything that's in the filter. That's what I've poured out. It's only been in there a couple of hours. Petrol's a solvent, diesel's an oil. So when you mix the two together, the petrol attacks the diesel, delineates everything. Basically, the reasonably, considered on a petrol basis, the reasonably large solids that are collected in that are now being liquefied, will then pass straight through the filter and into your engine. Over a period of time, the petrol chemicals, especially the ethanol in petrol, will attack the rubber seals on this filter and the plastic, and it will make this paper cardboard essentially brittle. The filter will start to break up, and then it can clog your engine as well. Microscopic stuff that clogs injectors is impossible to sort out. You need new injectors, which is why you have a filtration system. The filters are designed to trap water, so the filter goes 2/3 of the way down. There's a bottom area here, water collects in the bottom. That's because diesel, when it's manufactured, is washed with water. The water is heavier than diesel, so it sinks to the bottom, so it's got a water trap in there. That's why it's recommended that 30, 60,000, etc., etc. on a vehicle schedule that you have your diesel filter replaced. So when they replace the filter, they take that out. They also clean this out, which removes all the contaminants and removes any trapped water. Petrol as such, if you misfill, doesn't get stuck in the filter as such, it just liquefies everything and ruins the whole car. As you can see, the state of my hands just by handling it. That's what a new one looks like. It's got nice new seals in the top and in the bottom. It's obviously plastic carcass, and then the card inlay, and then there's some seals as well. I hope that helps and answers a few questions. Thanks very much for your time.